All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're talking about something I think every single one of us struggles with: how to avoid burnout and actually live a proactive, deeply fulfilling life. We're going to be drawing on the philosophy of Ryuho Okawa, specifically looking at Chapter 9, titled Life and Margin, from the November 1989 issue of the monthly Happy Science magazine. Even though it was written decades ago, this concept feels more relevant to our crazy, fast-paced modern world than ever before. It's all about mastering the art of margin. So let me ask you, why do we literally always feel like we're out of time? Seriously, take a second and think about your own week. We're all stuck in this, well, I like to call it the zero margin trap. We constantly feel behind, constantly overwhelmed, just totally breathless. We wake up reacting to emails, rushing to meetings, and falling into bed exhausted, only to wake up and do it all over again. It's this universal baseline reality for so many of us today. But the truth is, it really doesn't have to be. And that brings us to this incredibly powerful concept, yo-yu. It's a Japanese term that roughly translates to margin or room to breathe. But we're not just talking about having a couple of free hours on a Sunday afternoon. Yo-yu is the mental, physical, and financial space that you absolutely need to live proactively. See, when we lack this margin, our minds naturally drift straight toward the negative. We start complaining, we get super stressed out, and we completely lose our ability to do truly meaningful work. Without yo-yu, we aren't thriving, we're just surviving. To really hit home how easily we lose this margin, Okawa uses this brilliant and honestly painfully relatable analogy. He calls it the summer vacation homework trap. Just think back for a second to when you were a kid. You had the whole beautiful summer stretched out ahead of you and a giant stack of homework that absolutely had to be done before school started again. Be honest with yourself. How did you handle it? Okay, picture it. It's July, pure relaxation. The homework doesn't even exist in your mind. Then we hit mid-August. You know it's there, but you're actively ignoring the problem. Maybe you're feeling that tiny, growing knot of dread in your stomach, right? And then, August 31st, total panic. Just frantic scribbling at the kitchen table trying to get it done. We laugh about it now, but I have to ask you, which student were you? And more importantly, are you still living your adult life like it's August 31st? Because viscerally, that anxiety of living without a plan, of always just reacting at the absolute last possible minute, that is exactly what destroys our mental margin. So, how do we fix it? Well, the antidote to that frantic August 31st panic is what Okawa calls the prep type life, or Yoshu Gata Jinsei. It's exactly what it sounds like. It means planning ahead, anticipating what needs to get done, and tackling it early. By consciously living a prep-type life, you actively generate that essential psychological breathing room. You aren't just managing your time better, you are literally manufacturing your own peace of mind. When you actually put these two mindsets side by side, the difference is just night and day. That last-minute panic, it's entirely reactive. It breeds negative thinking, makes you complain constantly, and keeps you feeling rushed. On the flip side, the prep-type life is proactive. You're calm, you actually have the mental bandwidth for positive thinking because you already planned ahead. Just shifting from that reactive panic to a proactive plan completely alters your daily emotional state. It's a total game changer. But okay, we've got to talk about the physical reality here. It's super easy to just sit here and say, hey, be proactive. But Okawa grounds this in a very harsh truth. You actually cannot sustain mental margin without securing financial margin first. They are deeply, inextricably linked. Your psychological breathing room is built directly on top of your economic reality. Think about your income for a second. You naturally have your living expenses, and then your discretionary spending. But that third piece of the pie, savings, that is your actual tangible margin. Carving out a specific, dedicated portion of your income for savings is absolutely non-negotiable for true economic stability. If you're spending exactly what you earn, or even worse, more than you earn, you are basically living a financial August 31st. And here's the so what of it all. When you enforce that financial discipline, it instantly secures your economic stability, which immediately reduces your underlying daily anxiety. It eliminates all that money-related complaining, which clears a massive amount of negativity right out of your mind. By simply managing your finances proactively, you create true mental margin. You are quite literally buying yourself the psychological space you need to think bigger and aim higher. And honestly, thinking bigger is exactly where this whole concept leads us. I really want to connect this foundational daily habit of margin to Okawa's higher-level philosophies on living your true calling, which you can see in incredibly profound texts like The Heart of Work and Love and Work. Creating yo-yo, creating that room to breathe. It isn't just so you can kick your feet up and relax on the couch. It's so you can actually discover and live your true calling. You absolutely need margin to do the deep, impactful work you were meant to do in this world. There's this incredibly intense question posed in Love and Work. It asks, are you staking your life on that work? Do you feel it is your calling? This is what Okawa describes as the necessary conditions for the super elite. And actually, scratch that. It's not elite in some arrogant, wealthy sense, but elite in the sheer quality of your dedication and the love you pour into what you do. You cannot stake your life on your work if you are constantly panicked about tomorrow's deadlines or, how you're going to pay next month's rent. So, bringing it all together, it ultimately comes down to this. Margin is the absolute foundation of your calling. Period. You can only pour your whole heart, your love, and your life into your work when you aren't drowning in the day-to-day panic of zero margin. This prep-type life and just basic financial discipline, they aren't just boring adult chores. They are the essential, empowering stepping stones to achieving true greatness and profound fulfillment in your career. Which leaves us with a pretty big question. And I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. What is one thing you can prep for tomorrow to buy yourself peace of mind today? Stop living on August 31st. Take control, plan ahead, save a little more, and empower yourself to create your own yoyu. Because when you create room to breathe, you create the room to grow into your true potential. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will leave you to ponder that question. Catch you next time.